Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tambi. So this video is so exciting for me because I'm going to share with you guys some of the struggles that I had when I first moved to New Zealand. My first obviously struggle was language barrier, and the second one was making small talk. So firstly, language barrier. To give you guys a bit of context, especially for people from New Zealand who are watching, I'm from Naga. I'm from the tribe of Lota. My mother language is Lota. In order for us to speak in Lota, it just requires to just a tiny bit, okay? The only requirement is to just open your mouth just a little bit, just a tiny bit, like this much. That's enough. You don't have to open your mouth wider than this much. Honestly. Okay, let's say for example, if I want to say, if you want to go, go. If you don't want to go, don't go. In Lota, this is how it's going to sound. That is, you know, like I didn't even open up my mouth, okay? I just opened up a little bit. So that's how we talk. That's my mother language, and I love my language. But the problem was I started talking English like that, you know, just, yeah, you know, I like it. Yeah, do you like it? No, yeah, I'm okay. So when I first moved to New Zealand, that's how I talked, and I hated it because every time I talked, people would be like, Tambi, what? Can you repeat yourself? And so for my first 2 years, I just, you know, avoided conversations. And if people wanted to make conversations with me, I would be like, yeah, nah. If someone asked me, how are you? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Yeah, thank you. You know, that was it. It was yes or no answer. It was really frustrating, but I ended up really loving New Zealand. So I'm still here, and I wanted to make an effort to start building relationship with people. So I eventually started adapting how to speak in a Kiwi accent. And so in order for me to do that, I had to start pronunciating every vowel. I had to open my mouth, you know, and just start talking like this, because if I didn't, people wouldn't understand me. But the flip side about adapting a Kiwi accent is, back home, my family would laugh at me because every time I spoke in English, I sounded like a Kiwi person. And for my family back home, it just sounded funny because they're like, why are you talking like a Kiwi girl? We don't say girl, we say girl. So yeah, that was my struggle, and I still have struggle when I go back home because I have to change my English back to my Indian English, or else I get mocked. So it's quite tricky, you know, for me to be able to build a relationship here and communicate well. I have to talk like Kiwi to be understood and be heard. But then back home, if I try to talk like that, obviously they will laugh at me because they're like, why are you changing yourself? So yeah, that's the first struggle, language barrier. And the second one is small talks. When I first came here, I was really amazed because people talked about the weather. They'll be like, oh mate, it's a beautiful day today. Hey, the sun is out, good day for the beach. And I'm like, yeah, the sun is out. It's out every day. So okay, give you guys a bit of context again. Our small talks back in India, it's a bit different. We never talk about the weather. I guess it's also because in New Zealand, the weather affects a lot of the activities people do. Maybe that's why weather is so important. But I guess back home, it affects us, but not as much, okay? So our small talks are not about the weather. Our small talks are about dinners. What did you have for dinner? If you had pork for dinner, then you need to be very proud of yourself, because you can get really excited and tell people, I had akuni pork for dinner, and people will be like, oh my gosh, yeah, that's amazing. And if you had potato fry and dal, then you just have to say, oh, we just ate aloo and dal, nothing fancy. So those are the kind of small talks we have. The other small talks are talking about families, talking about extended family, the extended family, talking about our extended uncle, the bachelor uncle who's still single, or is he dating someone, talking about other people's family and how they're doing, talking about, oh, that student who had a distinction in class 10. You know, it's those are our small talks. So obviously when I came here, I struggled to make small talks with people, but now I'm getting used to it. Now when people tell me, oh, it's a beautiful day, I'm like, yeah, mate, like the sun's out, it's a beautiful day, I had an awesome day. And if it was a crappy day, I'm like, yeah, nah, like it was windy, it was raining, yeah, it was a bad day today. I'm used to it now. I do make small talks so that I can just avoid the deep, meaningful chats when I don't have the energy to do that. So in a way, it's good to have small talks, I guess. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. Yeah, and at the end of it, I guess for me, like, it just fascinates me that every culture has like so many different ways of communicating and different ways of, you know, like some topics are interesting for some culture and some culture it's not. So it's just cool to see different varieties of culture. Yeah, so I thought I'd just share that. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye guys.